Welcome everybody to something a little bit different than what I usually do. Now, what's been happening is since the past few weeks, I have been in lockdown, and I thought to myself, what better way than to discuss about our time during lockdown. So I have got my really great friend AgentGibb95 to join us to talk about these discussions and what he has been doing during lockdown. Hey AgentGibb95, how's it going?
Alright, for the most part, given the circumstances. How about you?
Oh, just trying to get through it day by day. Some days haven't been easy, to say the least.
Yeah, I think we're both practically cavemen at this point. We haven't left the house for days. There's a disease roaming around the community. It's just,
it's crazy.
Terrifying.
Oh, it is, and it's crazy how people are still not listening to the rules and regulations out there, that we got to, stay indoors and try not to go out as much. And it's not very good, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I haven't really got much to say on that, but I agree.
So what we're doing in today's video is we are going to be talking about specific questions about lockdown and some other stuff of preventing yourself with this horrible disease called COVID. What I thought we would first thing is to discuss about New South Wales lockdown completely. So what from I have been seeing and being told is obviously the cases have risen, but we have been in lockdown since June 26, me and AgentGibb95, and it's just been crazy, as we mentioned earlier in the video, where the cases have risen over the past few days and a lot of people still have not listened, and they've been going out in public places, which I know our Premier has been telling everyone through these live broadcasts. What do you think of these New South Wales lockdowns and the people that are not listening?
Well, I have been watching the news recently, and if I'm being honest, I think the Premier's way of convincing people and persuading them to stay at home isn't very effective. I mean, simply telling people to stay at home isn't really enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already tried that, and I think the results speak for themselves. Cases keep rising every day, and each day at least just under half of the numbers that have gone up are all out in the community. So it's been spreading around outside. So I think that if politicians want to actually convince people, I think they need to be a bit more ruthless.
Oh, 100% agree with you there.
That sort of thing. Because I was watching the news, and they have this footage of a guy in hospital. He's lying down in bed. He's got an oxygen mask. He's struggling to fight for his life. And I think those sorts of images need to be put up more on the news so that people actually understand the severity of the situation. And, it may get people thinking, oh crap, if I actually don't listen, that could be me in that bed, or it could be someone from my family in that bed.
And that's the thing too, showing a crazily powerful thing like that is pretty shocking. I mean, I haven't seen that video that you've had, but the way you've described it to me, it just sounds very much intense, and a lot of people need to wake up from this and realize that are people getting really badly affected from this situation of COVID, and you need to take steps to allow yourself to not get affected yourself. A pretty crazy situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now that we've got the discussion about the New South Wales lockdown on that situation, we're now going to be answering 6 different questions, roughly mostly going to be about COVID. So I believe AgentGibb95 will be giving us the first question about the COVID lockdown discussion.
All right. So the first question is, how are you going with lockdown?
Okay, not too bad. Some days can be harder than others. Usually when you're in a lockdown situation, it's pretty a crazy thing because everything just stops. Like if you were going to go meet up with friends or go out and about, chances are, out of the percentage, you can't really do a lot of those things anymore. And when the Premier told us that we had to be completely locked down where we couldn't see anybody, I think for myself it was a bit of a like, oh my god, this is actually really happening. I know that I know Victoria, they've gone through quite a lot of months where they were permanently locked down, which I feel completely sorry for them in that situation. But I know they had to do the right thing in keeping of staying safe. What about you, AgentGibb95?
It's a roller coaster, to be honest. I mean,
yeah,
most days it's sort of like an uphill battle, and other days it's just like, okay, I think I can handle it. It's bearable. I mean, I've got other things at home to do that can keep me occupied. So that's just a pretty basic summary.
Yeah, and I think it's good that while we're in lockdown that at least we've got a lot of stuff that we can do to pass the time. And this is probably a great way to intervene onto the next question, which is any exercises or mental health exercising that we do while we've been in lockdown.
In terms of exercise, I actually have a bike stand out in the living room, and I also have weights as well, so it's a good way to get at least some mild exercise, just to, keep your body moving and your mind sharp. And speaking of that, also, I think in terms of mental health exercising, I think meditating can be an effective way to, calm down your nerves and your anxieties and all that.
Oh, 100%. I think it's really good that you're able to do a lot of the exercising with those equipment while being locked down indoors and not able to do a lot in that sense. So it's really good that you've got those equipment to keep yourself going to pass time.
At least. So how about you, Granda95?
Well, what I usually do for exercise is I usually do 10 push-ups a day on the steps, because where I live is a double-story place, and I usually do that every single day after breakfast, and it really relaxes me before. It gives me routine as well each day to do that, and it just is a great feeling that once I've done it, that I know I feel a lot more happier in myself. For the mental health exercising, what could I say about this? Usually I find with that is listening to music, definitely that usually helps me with my mental health, and also just relaxing on the couch, talking to people on social media, and just to say how you're going and all that stuff. Yeah, I know that's not a lot, but I think a few of those definitely help me with my mental health exercising. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, fantastic.
What COVID-safe procedures are you implementing in order to stay safe?
Well, I can definitely say what I'm implementing for myself is 100% wearing a mask when I go out in public. Definitely hand sanitizing. Make sure to always roughly wash your hands after when you've touched something in a store or walked in the public space. And also the best thing is to social distance no matter where you're at. I know it might be a bit harder in public shopping center places, but anyway, chance a way of just not being close to people while being in those areas is the best situation to overcome the making yourself sick in that aspect. Yeah.
As for me, I usually keep a hand sanitizer on the kitchen bench.
Okay.
Because I don't really go out a lot, so it's useful to keep that close by in case other members in your house have gone out, for essentials and stuff like that.
Well, that's always a good thinking, because if you have it in your house, you're able to put some on before you go out. But in this aspect of us not able to go out a lot of the time, at least you know that we won't be at risk when going into those public places.
Yeah, and also for essentials, maybe probably order them online.
Yeah.
Instead of actually going out and getting them for yourself. So that way people just drop it off and you can just take it in, and it's in line with social distancing as well.
Well, speaking of that, what I did was I ordered food online, like the typical normal food shop.
Yep.
And what I did was they got what I needed, and then they come here with a truck, and they usually load it off with all the stuff that you buy online, and they put it near your front door. So with the regulations there, they able to keep a distance. They leave it at your front door, and you can then just bring it in yourself to unload it all. But it's really good. Companies like Coles and Woolworths especially, they do stuff like that, so you won't have to go out to do your regular food shopping that you would usually do in public food shops. Plus
it puts yourself at less risk as well of getting the disease in the community.
Oh, definitely. I think it's an easier way to get your food shop done. I know sometimes they might miss stuff, but I guess you can always, if you keep safe and going into the shopping centres, you can get what you miss out on shopping too. But that's definitely one way you don't have to do a big shop, and you won't have to worry about getting a risk. So anything else you wanted to add on to the procedures of that question?
No, I think that's pretty much all I have to offer on that subject.
Oh, that's all good. Are you educating yourself on the current situation?
The short answer to that is I just watch the news for any updates. I join my family in that regard, and I also have I also check the statistics for it on Google.
Ah, yes.
So those are the only two things that I do. So how about you?
Okay, I usually check it on my own Twitter. Usually it's on the trending bit, on the top bit before you scroll down on the other hashtags. That's how I keep myself informed from the situation, and a little bit of Google and a little bit on the television. So that's how I usually keep myself knowing what's going on with the cases right now.
Okay, on to my third question. So, what are your go-to hobbies or interests during lockdown? For example, books, movies, etc.
Ah, okay. Well, for me, definitely gaming has been a big thing that I have been doing while it's in lockdown. I usually play mostly Animal Crossing, which is a fantastic game, and I always like to create my island and add stuff into it, change my outfits, and been playing with a few other people as well on that game. Also, what else? I have cleaned the house whilst in lockdown, which helps me take me away from what's going on in the world, and yeah, that's something else I've done while as an interesting hobby. The last thing I would definitely say is watching TV series. I think that's really good because I actually just started finishing off, as I've mentioned a past few times, I do watch Real Housewives, and that was a specific show that they had a lot of episodes that I had a lot to catch up on, which I finished. And yeah, those are some of the few that I have done while lockdown with the hobbies and interests. They definitely keep me occupied while trying to get through day-to-day life, really. What about yourself?
Well, usually I try to keep my mind sharp, and the way for me to do that is by reading books. Like, for example, at the moment I'm reading the Song of Ice and Fire series. I'm up to the second part of the third book. I'm almost finished with that, so I'm just 2 chapters down. And
okay.
I also like to play piano as well, because the thing about musical instruments is, it keeps you focused. It sharpens your mind and actually gets you thinking about what notes to play, and how slowly or how fast you want to play it.
Yeah, there's something about music, isn't it? It just really takes you away from like the real world, and it really puts you in this sort of fantasy world when you listen to it. It's really good that music can do that, and including playing an instrument like you've done for such a very, very long time, that it easily relaxes you too.
And it's the same with books as well.
Oh yeah, books, 100%.
Yeah, it's the same with books. Like when you read something, you can actually, project an image of what's been said, and your mind just immediately enters that image.
It's so good to hear you say that at least you were able to have these books to pass your time, and it's really good to hear that you're thoroughly enjoying them, because now we've got the time to be able to do a lot of these hobbies and interests that we probably had not been able to do because of either working or just having a lot going on before COVID and before lockdown even came down. So it's good that we have these hobbies and interests to pass the time while being in lockdown.
Yeah, at the very least. And as much as I love doing those things, that doesn't mean I'm immune to Netflix and Amazon and all the rest of the TV subscriptions. So,
and that's trouble though.
TV series that I like as well.
Oh, Netflix. You know what, with Netflix, it's always hard to find a specific movie or TV show. For example, I would scroll just to find one of the, like, a really good show when I'm eating dinner or having lunch, and it's always difficult to find because there's so many of them.
That's a prime opportunity to binge.
Yes, exactly. I got the final question here, and it says, what will you do for the rest of your time during lockdown?
That's actually a question I've been thinking about a lot about myself.
Me too.
Well, if we're going to be stuck at home, then we might as well make the most of it. So I think probably an effective way to do that is probably find ways to build up your skill set. Like, for example, doing online courses, researching information on stuff that you want to do.
Okay, yes.
Sort of thing. So it's sort of an effective solution in a way.
Oh, I definitely agree with you there. I think if you were able to do an online course, it will definitely pass the time, and you can also learn a lot more, which I know is a very educational thing too. So have you had any luck finding any courses that you have specifically in mind that you think you want to do?
So far, I'm doing a writing course.
Oh, writing. Fantastic. There's all different types of writing, isn't there? Like, you've got your journalism, you've got your book writing.
Yeah, journaling, short stories, poems, even composing, like songs, for example.
Oh, definitely. With these courses, is there a specific one with the writing that you want to do?
At the moment, I'm doing one by an author called Jerry Jenkins.
Okay.
He's pretty much been doing modules. So the way the course works is it gets split up into modules, and for each module there's a certain topic that you need to learn.
Interesting.
So at the moment I'm doing that kind of course.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to, and the viewers out there on YouTube will be definitely excited to see what you decide to do when we talk about it a little bit later on throughout the years. So I can't wait to see where that goes for you.
Alright, how about you? So what will you do for the rest of your time?
Mostly gaming, I would say, and sometimes I do a bit of decluttering around the house too. Like, if I find something in a closet or a drawer, or if I go into the different parts of the house, I usually find something in there and be like, okay, maybe I can clean this, maybe I can fix this up, maybe I'll get rid of this, as probably I don't need it. Also, maybe some TV shows as well during the rest of my time in lockdown, and hopefully, yeah, basically, so that's some of the stuff. But I know whatever comes to mind for me, I'll definitely be doing something along the lines of trying to get stuff done, or yeah, something like that anyways.
There we go.
There we go. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, AgentGibb95, for being a part of this lockdown discussion. It's been really great to have you on, and all I could say is hope for the rest of the lockdown goes really alright for you.
Well, thank you for bringing me on.
And thank you, viewers out there, for watching this video. I'm looking forward to giving you more future content once this lockdown is over. And yeah, all I can say to everyone is life's an unexpected adventure. Keep safe, keep positive, and I will see you all on another one of my videos. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Fingers crossed, they'll all be over soon. All right. Bye.
See you later.